Right, if you're still watching, this is Enterprise Weekend right here on Enterprise Television. Now to our main conversation. Nigerian public officials have been alleged to have received a staggering sum of 721 billion naira as bribes in 2023 during the intersection of then President Muhammad Buhari and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The National Bureau of Statistics reported in a survey on corruption in Nigeria published on Thursday that more than 700 billion naira in cash bribes were paid by citizens to public officials in the year 2023.
Very true. Last April, the U.S. government expressed concern that Tinubu is continuing the massive corruption trend of his predecessors, given his ministerial appointment of Abubakar Bagudu, whom the People's Gazette described as a corruption-tainted associate of former Nigerian dictator Sani Abacha. In the report, in May of 2024, Nigerian government officials were accused of soliciting bribes to the tune of $150 million from global cryptocurrency giant Binance.
It added, overall, it is estimated that a total of roughly 721 billion in naira, that's about $1.26 billion, was paid in cash bribes to public officials in Nigeria in 2023, corresponding to 0.35% of the entire gross domestic product GDP of Nigeria. The period under review, 2023, covers Buhari's last 5 months in office and Tinubu's first 7 months after he assumed office on May 29, 2023.
True. And this survey round is particularly strategic as it was conducted during a period of governmental transition, providing vital insight into the state of corruption and progress made in mitigating its impact, NBS said. And according to the NBS, through these surveys, Nigeria leads in establishing international best practices in the periodic and scientific assessment of anti-corruption efforts, reinforcing the importance of evidence-based strategies in the journey towards a corruption-free society.
Very true. And still in the studios together with us to do justice to this particular topic, Barrister Vansufeli. Thank you, Barrister, for hanging around. So there we have it. It's a very, very so unfortunate, if you ask me. 720 billion naira as bribe paid by Nigerians to Nigerians. Your take on that, please, Barrister.
And to Binance.
No, they were actually
asking
Binance
for largest
asking for that amount and all that. You see, that is the corruption we're talking about. Largely public officers, public workers and all that. And when you have this kind of reports and it's out there in the public clear, it has a way of threatening the coming in of investors, because this shows that the rate at which we go about the issue of bribe in this country is something else. Okay, it's the corruption that has reduce everything that should work in this country. It's corruption. This one is for Egunje and grazing palms up and down, so that people will not, regulatory authorities will not work the way they should work. This is part of the reason. Okay. Now, when you turn the satellite now to the electoral system, you see how the citizen also collect bribe to vote. When you turn it around, you have NNPC and other regulatory authorities that are supposed to be upright in doing their jobs. You will not. You see the way they go about it, and the police don't even go there. Don't even go to the police at all. You understand? Because that institution itself is, it's horrible. So when you have this litany of everybody hustling for himself, it's greed. The reason people collect bribe is greed. Okay? They don't want to rely on what they have worked for to sustain their life. They want to collect what they have worked for, and they want to also collect what they have not worked for and compromise the duties of their office. Okay? So when you see breakdown when you see breakdown here and there, it's the reason. It's also the reason why roads built by government don't last. Because when they award contracts, they go back to the contractor to ask for kickback. When the contractors take off kickback and pay them, the contractors will not able to do the roads to standard, because the contractor will also start to cut down costs. And when they start to cut down costs, quality control will not stop them from cutting down costs, because quality control will report to Oga. Oga is the one that awarded the contract, and I came back to take half of the money. You understand? So the roads are done, they go bad almost immediately. So the effect of corruption and this thing is why Nigeria is where it is right now. Is it the universities, the VCs of schools, the way they mismanage and misappropriate funds? Where exactly are you going to point out that you don't have this thing going on? Is it in the banks? Okay, is it in customs? Is it in the EFCC? They're supposed to police them. They are corrupt too. We've seen the last two EFCC chairmen. What took them out? What took them down was corruption, where the hunter became the hunted. So when you have an institution that is also enmeshed in corruption, an institution that is supposed to fight corruption is enmeshed in corruption, what do you have? So it's a paradox. Now, if the EFCC can be indicted of corruption, which other institution is left? Which other institution is left? So that's what I was saying, that you see this pattern, for us to put this pattern together, they may need to, all these people now will have to go, give birth to new people. Yes, what is the solution?
Now, even in a country where godfatherism is key, and we are looking forward to getting a corruption-free society, we're talking about the Gen Zs and the generation, I don't know if they're called Alpha or X or so.
Alpha,
yes.
Generation Alpha.
What is the need for them? How do we look back and say, with this current state, how do we look back and say, this is what awaits them?
It's not a very good time to be a young person in this country, because the elderly and the old have depleted the country to a point where there's nothing left for the younger generation. That's the truth. That's even put it mildly. You know why? The former Accountant General of the Federation the other day, old man is begging the courts to give him time to return 198 billion naira to return it. If you see him say how frail he looks, you're asking yourself, that where would this man, where are you going to work out that money to return? To return to where? He cannot even work out that money for the rest of his life. He doesn't have the strength to do that. Now, that 120 billion, one person took it. The past Accountant General too, you remember, he returned some money not too long ago.
Exactly.
The ones left, humongous money still left. All these funds are what they are supposed to use to take care of the Gen Zs. You need to empower them. You understand? Then look at the other state governors who have been indicted, ministers indicted, and there is no case that you have less than 1 billion. There's no million in any of the cases I'm mentioning. Everything is billion. All those funds, if you have mopped it up together, it's actually for the advancement of Nigeria. By now, if you have smart cities, by now, if you no longer, all of us will not be relying on Lagos Ibadan Express when you're going, there should be other alternatives all over the country. Infrastructure, schools, and all that. All those funds were enough to give us better schools, hospitals, manage our country in such a way that we'll not be traveling abroad. I don't even know why I'm traveling abroad. It's because of what is going on here. So there are enough places you can visit here if these funds had gone round and everyone is empowered. What is wrong with a country where everyone is empowered? What is wrong with that? So, but They will not agree. They will not allow you to do that. Your governor will take all the money, including local government money, to go and spend everything. You understand? The next thing, they will start to build airports and flyover. Those projects, white elephant projects that have no bearing, that have no significance. Poor people are in the farm. They don't have road to access their farm. They cannot go because of insurgency. They cannot do. The next thing you do as a governor is to start to build airports. Because that's where you can get enough kickback. The next thing you go, a state where there are less than 4 million, you're going to be building flyover. How many cars in that state? Where's the traffic? You build flyover in where the city is congested and then there are too many people, too many vehicles, so that you cannot move easily. You start to create flyover so that you can ease. Some of the states, some of the states are less than 5 million, 6 million. They are building flyover and airports. To be used by who?
All right. So while we stress about those not still in service, now let's talk about those who are currently occupying very vital positions currently in our country. And one of those is the Minister for Budget and Economic Planning. Yes. According to Wikipedia, I'm quoting from Wikipedia now, which of course has a profile of who he is. It states here that Bagudu was a known associate of former Nigerian dictator Sani Abacha, who was accused of stealing more than $2.2 billion of public funds during his 5-year tenure as Nigerian president in 1990. In 2003, Bagudu was arrested and extradited from Houston, Texas, at the request of Jay-Z, where Bagudu has set up a shell company called Doraville Properties to launder funds stolen from Nigeria. Why would President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knowing all of this, still appoint such personality in charge of a vital position?
So you also need to ask, how did Bagudu pass the DSS test before he became a minister? Because that DSS test is very critical. It's a security risk test. With that pedigree, he passed the DSS test. So it also tell you that's why I said the regulatory authorities are not working. If it were to be in a very serious society, he can't go through FBI with that record. He can't pass that. He will be thrown out immediately. But here, you have him now as part of that's because the president himself too, have cases, those kind of cases, when he was Lagos State Governor. He has the indictment too now, just that the people focus on the certificate something. There are the Gari family went to court, some other persons went to court. Even the current Minister for Aviation, Kiamu, was in court against Tinubu for years on issues of corruption. You understand? But now he's a minister under the administration. So using national portfolio to compensate those fighting him before now. This man, the one that is the budget and Kiamu and some other persons. So appointing him will mean that you are opening the floodgate of court. That means, you are not ready to change anything. You are not ready to change anything.
So all of the our end corruption and all are all funny.
No, how can Tinubu look me and you eyeball says going to fight corruption? Fight what? That's like fighting yourself. That's going to fight corruption. Who's corruption? So you cannot fight yourself. It is a country where the leaders have made up their mind that it's about self. Me. This is what I want to become. Any other person can decide, because the way this country is managed, for the few people who ended up succeeding to become what they want to become, are people who had to, against all odds, are determined to make sure they supplant and push their way through to make sure that they become whatever. For the rest of so many persons, this country, if you follow the trend of things, you cannot become whatever you think you want to become. First of all, when you want to go to school, they will not give you the course you want, they give you everything they like. And I'm wondering, why are you giving that? So this country will change only when the people are ready to rise. I'm not seeing anywhere in the world where politicians will come and knock at your door and then empower you. It will not work. We need to come out and tell this government what they should do. That sovereignty belongs to the people. And it's through sovereignty that they derive their legitimacy. So that is what this country, that's what we must do. You know, I know how they will also come up with a counter strategy to buy some people over. Yes, those are the people who are cheap, who don't care about their future or that of their children, who would rather that they satisfy their momentary needs and mortgage their future. That is their prerogative.
Now, if you take a look at Rwanda, for example, of course, nowhere is clean. There's still human rights abuses in Rwanda and so on and so forth. But Kagame has been able to get it right, in spite of the divisions in the country. What do you think was done right, and how do you think the Nigerian leaders can learn from that to get that country running?
Yeah, I don't even think you can put Nigeria together through democracy. You need some autocracy, because that's what Kagame did. The country is highly militarized. In that country now, if you people gather and they are up to some level of numbers and they are discussing what government is now, government will go in and find out what they're discussing. That's how it is.
But as a lawyer, you know that's not good enough.
Yeah, that's not, you have done to put Nigeria together the way it is now, almost like it has almost broken down irretrievably. You cannot use the dictates of democracy to change this country. I'm just telling you. You can't. Because a lot of people need to be whipped into order. You need to do so many things. You need to do so many things. Okay? This one that are defecating on the expressway. Democracy will say, take them, arrest them, charge them to court. No, that's not what they need. As they are caught there will be a mobile court on that expressway that will charge them, and they charge them immediately and sentence them immediately. Let them go and do 2 months in prison. When they come out, when they see expressway, they will never defecate there again. That's what I'm saying. If you use democracy, now arrest them, now then go and bring your shorty. Shorty will now go now charge them. Charge them, they now say go and do community service. They will go to that place and do the community service to start to defecate again. I'm just telling you. So you need some military, a kind of force, not take over. Yeah. I mean force. So you need a measure of force to put people in order. People have only gone haywire. You go to Ojota where they say use the pedestrian bridge. Use the pedestrian bridge because the vehicles are coming with speed. The government don't even stop there. The government use iron net to close up the place. I was at Ojota, somebody who crossed the road was looking at the iron net, like looking for a hole at the iron net where it's going to pass. You understand? Such level of indiscipline. You cannot cure it with democracy. You cure it with some measure of punishment, penalty that is instant to correct a lot of things. When you correct that, you now focus on other direction. Work on corruption, clear it. If you use democratic movement this man did not succeed by adopting a slow snail speed to get the people corrected, to put them in order. They were worse than we were. But if you put some measure of force, not breaking the law anyway, but people will come to realization that business is no longer business as usual.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Philip. But in 60 seconds, with this set of ministers we have and with this track record, what awaits Nigerians in the next, let's say, 6-7 years under the current president's regime?
The present regime is 4 years.
4 years.
Okay. Let's leave it at 3 years now with this current minister. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But with this current ministers on sit, with this history that is not pleasing to the ears, what do you think awaits Nigerians?
We are complaining that people stole a lot under Buhari. People are stealing now more. You understand? It's not about anybody. This country, nobody's thinking about the other person. You understand? Nobody's thinking about the other person. That's the problem. People are thinking about themselves, how themselves and their family. So there's no collective thought for the wellness of the general public. So the ministers now are not different from the ones that, in fact, these ones are even worse. Because these ones, many of them have criminal record and they were absorbed in the system and all that. So perhaps we'll have a bigger challenge with the current executive than the previous. The previous was docile, unaware, not knowing anything that's going on. The present seems not to be aware too of what is going on, taking wrong decisions every day and all that. So, I mean, I don't see that. I don't see that we're moving forward. Yeah, you can't be doing something the same way all the time and expect different results and think you are moving forward. We're not moving forward at all. These ministers, they are not different from the previous. They will likely do the same thing, give us the same output, and until the citizens decide that they are no longer going to take what these people are doing, that is when things will change. Otherwise, we'll just still be here.
All right, Barrister Vanessa Philly, we truly do appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you,
much for
Barrister.
the insight and making sense of the very important topic. Joma,
Yes,
there
time
we
to
have
go.
it.
Yes.
Nigeria, our country we hail thee. Well, this is just about the time we have for this segment of the episode on Enterprise, a weekend right here on Enterprise Television. We'd love to say thank you so very much for keeping a date with us. But please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV. Yes, sir. I am Henry.
And I'm Choma Kohe.
On behalf of the entire team, we'd love to say thank you for watching
Thank
once
you.
more and bye-bye from us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.